Hey everybody, this is Todd with Adventures in the Bible. Now, remember how a couple of days ago I'd been teasing about something big happening, about this man named Goliath who was trying to fight the armies of the Israelites by himself. And every day he would step out in front of the Israelites and say, "Send me a man, send me a man, send me your best fighting man. And if I beat him, then you will become our servants. But if you beat us, then we'll become your servants." So every day, the Israelites would line up for battle and the Philistines would line up for battle. And every day, Goliath would step out in front and say, "Send me your best man. Send me your champion. Is there not a man who will come and fight me? I mean, am I not a man? Is there anybody who will come out and defend your God?" And every day, the Israelites would be terrified because, I mean, this guy was a giant. He stood over 9 feet tall. His breastplate was massive. It weighed well over 1,000 pounds, and the spear, just the spearhead was as big as people's heads. I mean, it was amazing. This guy was huge, and so every day you would look around to try to find one of the Israelite soldiers, and they'd be hiding behind a tent somewhere. This went on for 40 days. And then finally, one day, back at home, Jesse, the father of, there was a man named Jesse, and he had some sons that were out in the battle. And so he began to wonder, I wonder how my boys are doing. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I have that one son named David, that little shepherd boy. I forgot about him. Yeah, he's back in the pasture looking at my sheep. Hmm. You know what? I'll have David check on him. And so he sends for David. David, I need you to go check on your sons, or check on my sons. I need you to go check on your brothers. I need you, here, I'll give you some food, and you take some food, and you go see how your brothers are doing. But as soon as you're done, come back home and finish taking care of your sheep. I need you here taking care of the sheep. I don't need you there on the battlefield. So David gets the food together. He got some bread, he's got some cheese, and he's taking it to his brothers. And he shows up to the battlefield. And as he gets there, he's looking around. He's looking for his brothers, and he doesn't see anybody. He's looking around. And he's where are my brothers? And so he begins to kind of look around some tents and behind rocks, and he's starting to see guys here and there. And he's going, "What's going on, fellas? Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding behind this bush?" And the guy's like, "Get down, get down, get down!" And he like grabs him and pulls him back behind the tent. And he's like, "Dude, do you not see what's going on? Look over there. Could you not see that guy, that big old giant over there? If he sees you out there, he's gonna think you're gonna want to fight." And David's like, "Well, why would I want to fight him? I mean, I'm just here to see my brothers." And and his brothers hear him, and he's looking around, and the brothers find him. "Hey, David, get over here!" And so they're hiding behind the tree. "What do you think you're doing? Why are you here? Why aren't you back home taking care of those sheep?" "Oh, we know why you're here. You just want to see how the battle's going, don't you?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm just here to bring you some food." And so David's he's giving them the food, and 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 he goes, he asks, "Well, why is everybody hiding? Why aren't they out fighting the battle? And who's this guy?" And he hears the giant yell one more time, "Bring me a man! Send me a man! Is there? Y'all are just chicken. Y'all don't want to come fight me. Send me a man! Send me a man!" And and so David's like, "Hey, what's the deal? Why ain't somebody going fighting this guy? He's insulting us. He's insulting our God." And and the brothers begin to tell him, "Hey, this is what's going down." And he explained to him, "Hey, yeah, he's saying if one of our guys beats him, then we'll be theirs. It beats him, then they'll be our servants." And they explain the whole thing to him. And David's like, "Well, okay, so who's gonna go fight him?" And the guys are like, "Would you shut up? This guy's a giant. He's gonna rip our heads off." And so finally, David's like, "You know what? I've had enough." He said, "What will the guy get if whoever beats this giant?" And the guys are telling him, "Oh, well, that the man that beats Goliath will be the richest man in the kingdom, and not only that, he'll become the king will actually give his daughter to him to be married." And David's like, "Okay, well, the guy's still insulting our God, and that's really not cool." And so he said, "Well, I'll fight him. And David's brothers are like, what? Are you nuts? No, you're not going to fight him. Are you crazy? He'll rip your head off. He'll tear you apart. And David's like, well, somebody has to take care of this guy. And all of a sudden, the word begins to spread about how David's talking about how he wants to fight this Goliath. And the word gets back to King Saul. And King Saul hears it like, okay, I have somebody who wants to fight. Because Saul was scared too. Even though Saul was a head taller than anybody else, Saul was terrified of this guy. And so he sends out a servant to bring David in. And everybody's like, oh, well, you've done it now. You've done it now. The king wants to talk to you. The king wants to see you. You done opened your mouth up to the wrong person. And so David is brought before the king. And the king says, I hear that you want to fight Goliath. And he's like, yeah, man, why hasn't anybody else gone out and fought this guy? And he said, and the king looks at him and says, well, if you're going to fight this guy, you need some armor. And so David's like, well, I got my sling right here. And King Saul's like, no. If you're going to fight this guy, you need my armor. And so he brings his breastplate, he brings his sword, he brings his helmet. And David's trying to put all this stuff on. And he's like, this stuff is too heavy for I can't fight in this stuff. I've never fought in this stuff before. It doesn't fit me. It's too big. And David's like, you know what? I got this sling. I'll take the sling. God has, you know what? I'll tell you what. God will protect me from this battle. In this battle, God will protect me from Goliath. One time I was watching my dad's sheep, and this bear came attacking my sheep. And the Lord helped me, and I grabbed that bear, and I ripped him apart, and I killed him with my bare hands. Bare hands. And then there was another time I was watching it, and a lion snuck up behind me, and he tried to grab one of my sheep. And I grabbed that lion, and I killed it with my bare hands. He probably took the paws from the bear and, made his own little hands, and never mind. So David said, you know what? God will protect me in this battle. And so he goes walking out. He's walking out in front of the battle. He's walking out to the battle lines, and he sees there's a creek right in front of him. And as he's walking forward, Goliath sees him and says, wait a minute. You're coming to fight me? You're just a boy. You can't fight me. I'm a big, strong man. I'm a giant. You can't fight me. Am I? And he looks at him. He sees the staff in David's hand. He's like, am I a dog that you come fighting at me with a stick? And David just kind of looks at him and goes, well, if the leash fits, woof, woof. No, he didn't really say that. But anyway, so David comes and he's walking out, and he sees this brook in front of the battlefield. And he looks down, and he sees the rocks in there. He's like, okay. He kneels down, picks up the rock. He picks up 5 rocks. He goes, you know what? I think these will do just fine. Puts them in his pocket, and he's walking forward. He's getting ready. And Goliath looks at him and says, come on, come at me. Am I a dog? I'm gonna tear you apart. You have no chance winning this battle. And David says, you come to me with a spear and a sword, but I come to you in the name of the Lord. And he takes his rock and he puts it in the sling, and he starts whirling about his head, faster and faster and faster and faster. And finally, as he gets closer, he lets go, and the rock goes flying through the air, and it smacks Goliath right in the forehead. And the only part where there was no protection for Goliath. I told you this is raw. This is dogs barking outside. Okay, this is what you get. So Goliath gets the stone right between the head and the forehead, and he falls on his face. And David runs forward and grabs Goliath's sword, grabs Goliath's own sword, and takes it and off with his head. People are standing there in shock, like, what just happened? Goliath lost the battle. Goliath, he's dead. How did this happen? And the Israelites are standing there shocked. The Philistines are standing there shocked. And then all of a sudden the Philistines are like, ah! They start screaming and they start running, and the Israelites, they get excited and they say, all right, and they start chasing after the Philistines. And the Philistines and the Philistines, what are they? The Philisteiners, they take off running, and the and the Israelites chased them all the way back to Philistine. And God helped David win the battle. God helped him because David trusted in him, and he trusted in his word, and trusted in what God had for him to do. Because David stood up for God, God helped him win the battle. So anytime that you're facing a giant in your life, anytime you're facing a battle in your life, trust in God. Trust in God's purpose. Trust in God's plan, because he's with you and he's going to help you win the battle. As a matter of fact, I think I need to go. The Israelites are chasing the Philistines. I need to go help them out. See you later.